Awesome. All right. Hello, welcome to another episode of the EJB Talk Show. I'm Amiel, and today I have a very special guest, tuba extraordinaire, and currently a member of the TSYO and the UTSO. We're going to talk about that today, but we have Umberto Quattrociocchi.
Yes, correct.
Sick,
That's me.
man. How you doing today?
I'm awesome. I'm pretty chill day. I know your first question because I watched every episode. Your first question is, what do you get down to today?
Yo, what's up?
Oh my gosh, Umberto!
We're filming right now.
You look so good, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm keeping that in.
Yeah. Your first question is always, what did you get down to today?
Yeah.
It's been developed. I've watched every episode. I'm your biggest fan. Look, I didn't get down to much today.
Right.
We had rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
It was break, and we were meant to play in the second half, Sibelius. And the Sibelius is the only piece I play in.
Right.
And they said no.
Same here.
Yeah.
Except I'm in Beethoven too, but
Okay.
like it's not a lot. Yeah.
Beethoven. And they said no more Sibelius. We're doing Defy the second half. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
So we're gonna film this, and we have now extra time to film.
Yeah. It's gonna be sick.
And after
that's
this, I'm
funny.
going to the TSO.
What?
After this, I'm going to TSO. tonight.
Nice,
Sorry,
nice.
Wind Ensemble people.
Sick. Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's funny that you say that. It's gonna give me the chance to actually explain why I ask that. Like, one, yeah, it's nice common courtesy, but I think it's really interesting that the first question is like, what did you do today? Because like everyone's answer is so wildly like different and interesting. It's like, oh, I had this rehearsal. Oh, like if it was a master student, like, oh, I did my TA work. And I'm like, wow, this is like everyone is up to something super different and cool here, like every day.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like asking that question.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm
it's,
glad to answer.
it's really cool that you know.
Well,
it
what
like
did you
that.
get down to today? I'm gonna flip
Oh,
the script
me?
on you, yeah.
Oh, okay. I woke up late in time. I was gonna help out with Hannaford Community Band. I help out with them sometimes, cause like with
Yeah.
kit stuff. But then I came a little late, and then before TSYO, I did some homework, and then did like an hour of practicing, but not as much as I wanted to. And then went to TSYO and played some triangle and bass drum and Sibelius. It was pretty cool.
I always look back and I see you guys are like switching the timpani parts, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that must suck.
Huh?
That must suck if there
it's
aren't
weird.
enough parts.
Yeah, like, it's normal. Like, we always experience, like, it's basically the equivalent to, like, changing who plays first, right? Because, like, timpani is always a principal role,
Yeah.
right? But also, like, they don't want to overload us with all, like, they want to, like, have us all nicely distributed parts. So, like, for example, in the first cycle for Bartok, we had 2 timpanists for that, but that's never gonna happen in any orchestra. But like, if we gave one person all 5 movements, like Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah, it would
right. Yeah, but yeah. So let's keep this episode rolling.
Okay, go ahead.
But I was gonna say, how are you enjoying this year so far? This semester.
This semester it's been a lot lighter than my last semester.
Right. Your third year
I'm
tuba
third year,
performance. Are you minor composition?
I am, yeah.
Okay, that's
So,
interesting.
yeah, I
Right.
applied to it in second year. Like, yeah, entering second year.
Okay. So
but
you were like
So
comp minor last
yeah,
year
let
already.
let me give myself a comprehensive overview of my UFT experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I auditioned for common year because I didn't know if I wanted to ed or performance.
Okay.
Because it's like, yeah, teaching gives you more stable jobs, whatever.
Right.
But like I like performing.
Mhm.
So then I ended up doing performance, like auditioning for my first year jury as performance for second year.
Right.
And then I realized, oh, I kind of also like composition because I started in high school and then dabbled with it.
Okay.
But I didn't take the intro to comp course. So I had to like
Right.
do the interview and portfolio without having taken the course, which is a prerequisite.
And did they?
They took me, which was
Okay.
nice.
Interesting. Did you
But-
end up having to take it, or? It was
I
kind
did
of-
have to take it. And it was,
Right. So you took it last year.
Yeah, I took it last year and it was kind of really horrible because it overloaded my schedule so much because it's
Right,
meant to be a
bet.
first year course.
Yeah, and like second year schedules.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. I had to
Right.
like request to overload course limit.
Right. I see.
And I'm in third year, so my third year is pretty light second semester because it's a bunch of year-long courses minus my courses from last semester.
Okay.
So I have a lighter course load this year, which is nice. Or this
Nice.
semester.
Nice, man. So I'm gonna ask that same question.
Yeah.
What is your earliest musical memory?
Okay, I thought about this because I had anticipated the question.
Right.
And it's really kind of hard for me to pinpoint it, but I'd have to say it's probably my dad.
Mhm.
So he was like a hobbyist, amateur, dabbled in music stuff.
Right.
He's an engineer. But he showed me on this crappy little keyboard how to play
Really?
the piano, and it stuck with me. And then I said to my mom, I want to do piano lessons, and this was when I was like maybe 8.
Right.
So I started on piano. I did it for a while, and I always found like a love-hate relationship with it, where
Right.
I really loved playing music and hearing music, but then, you know,
Having to practice,
having
like
to practice
a chore
and
kind
then
of thing.
going to lessons and being like really kind of ego about it. Not an ego, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you put your heart and soul into playing this piece, and then your teacher's like, no, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I worked so
Right.
hard this week. That kind of thing, like,
Right.
really kind of struck me as a child. I'm like, I need to get my shit together.
Right. How far did you get in piano?
I got to RCM 10, so I was like decent at it. But I never. So then I got into high school, and then I picked tuba as a band instrument.
Right. So
I started in grade 9.
Piano was something you got really like you were super kind of serious about.
I was
up
a bit
until
serious
high
about
school.
it, but I wouldn't have made it a career if I hadn't chosen tuba.
Right. But that was that's your thing to do essentially from K to 8 essentially.
Yeah,
was,
it
like,
was
playing
it was kind
piano.
of my major hobby on the side.
Right.
And at first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be like my dad and be an engineer. But
Right.
I have a twin brother. And
Okay.
He did that path, and I wanted to be different.
Wow. Okay.
So then I chose music, and I'm like, music, like in grade 10 or 11, I'm like, tuba's really fun.
Yeah, you
Playing in a band is awesome.
was there a reason why you chose it, or
I wanted to
were
sit
you, like assigned? or-
I wanted. So most people get forced onto tuba
right.
because it's like, you know, you're forced to switch off trumpet or
Like
whatever.
the
it
last
is.
pick.
Yeah.
Like for brass sometimes.
But I chose it because one, I wanted to sit by myself.
okay.
I was that kid, right?
Was your high school was like an only one tuba
Well,
kind of high school?
I thought so. But
Okay.
then next to me was a tuba player, so I wasn't alone.
Oh, man.
But I wanted like my own unique part that I could contribute and feel useful.
Right.
And I figured if no one's gonna play tuba, I'm gonna be a tubist and like lay down the bass line and be really good at it.
Right.
And everyone's gonna be like, "Damn, you sound awesome."
Right.
Because that's the goal, right? Like have people feel your sound
Yeah, exactly.
and feel like you're making an impact to the ensemble.
So that's kind of your connection
Yeah,
to the tuba.
like tubas. I always teach my students, and I'm like, yeah, tuba. While you may not have like the flashiest parts, it's
No,
like
yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. It's like you feel it.
hmm Right, man. I was gonna ask something. Shoot. I was gonna move it forward, but I remember I was thinking about something when you were saying that kind of struck my interest, and I think I lost it, but that's
Is it
okay. It might
high
come
school
back.
related, or?
I think so, but don't worry about that.
Okay, if it comes back.
Yeah, it's okay. But in terms of composition, I know you said that you kind of started that in high school.
Mhm.
Was there any? Oh, you know what? I remember that now.
Yeah.
I remember the question now.
Okay.
Let me
Go ahead,
backtrack.
go ahead.
That's my bad. So when your like family showed you that's like your dad showed you
Yeah.
that like Dinky keyboard, and he's like an amateur musician. Is it like amateur in the sense of like he like playing like rock music, pop music, or were they also like classical music
Yeah, no.
fans too?
Like, people, my dad was always a fan of classical music, like on the side, but it's mostly
Right.
his interests were like rock, like classic rock.
Right. Yeah.
And he would write these little tunes on the CD things.
Right.
Yeah, so he was kind of a composer before me.
Interesting.
I showed my mom my music once, and she was like, "It reminds me of your dad." I'm like,
That's
nice."
sweet.
Yeah.
That's actually really sweet.
Yeah, I didn't expect that because I've only ever heard like one or two of his pieces ever.
Right. So in terms of your like experience in composition, so that started in high school for you.
Yeah. So, interesting story. Do you know Christopher Bill, the YouTube trombonist?
YouTube trombonist? No.
Yeah. Okay. So he does these multi-track recordings of him playing trombone.
Okay.
I'm sure all the trombone players out there will know it. But he started this like trombone composition challenge thing,
Right.
and that was the first piece I ever wrote, and it was like a trombone quartet.
And it was for the like.
Yeah, and I
little
submitted. I didn't
challenge.
win it obviously, but
Right.
this was the first piece I ever wrote. I'm like, damn, this is kind of fun.
And what year in high school were you?
This was maybe second year of high school,
Okay.
but it was like for something I did on the side just for fun. I was never the kind of person to be like, play my piece, like shove it to the whole group. And be like
Right.
in grade 12, I wrote this like euphonium trio.
So brass was something that was like really piqued
Yeah,
my
it's like-
interest.
In my mind, if someone can play it, like I want it to be a very playable part, and that's like interesting that I can write like an idea, but chances are it won't be playable.
Right.
So balancing that was always something that I was like learning, but also very keen to learn.
Right.
So, and nowadays I'm writing stuff. I'm writing a piece for Hannaford, so
Sick.
we might play it at the end of the school year.
I'm not playing with them anymore.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
not?
playing with the youth band anymore.
Well,
like I help out with the community.
Anita's hunting
stuff.
percussionist.
I know she is.
You
Yeah,
might get
because
in-
I took because like I played the first semester.
yeah.
I let her know because like I have a teaching job
Fair
on
enough.
Sundays, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not." I'm like, and I'm upset too because I really liked playing with Hannaford this year. Your mic's still good?
That's okay.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, are you from the GTA? Like,
Yeah, I'm from Mississauga.
Okay, so have you like played in Hannaford before?
Yeah, I
like,
started it
university?
when I was in grade 12.
Okay.
And I commuted once a week. So it wasn't too bad. And I
Were you in the youth band in the first?
Yeah,
time?
the first time I auditioned was in the youth. I was in the youth band, but I got into it a lot later than a lot of other people.
Right.
Like my friends that are in
Yeah, I
it,
know.
they've been in it since they were
I know,
children.
like,
I was like,
I think Elias was in it when like in a community band, like
Yeah.
like young high school.
and I was never
years.
like. I think Jang was in it for like 8 years.
Yeah,
I was
something like
damn.
that.
No, I think this is my 4th year in it.
Right.
4th or 5th, one of those. But this year I won the solo comp, so
Sick. How do you feel about that?
I'm playing with them. It's really exciting.
Yeah, is it-
So tomorrow I have to rehearse with them playing Third Movement, Warren Williams.
Sick.
Scary.
Yeah, is that the first solo comp that you like?
That I won?
Like,
Yeah.
went, like a finalist.
Yeah.
In? And how like what was your prep for that? Like how?
It's kind of, I mean, so Vaughan Williams is like this weird piece where it's like a staple. So
Mhm.
I've looked at it a lot, but I'll learn it on E flat, then I'll learn it on F, and I'm like, fuck, I need to relearn the fingerings, right? Like,
Right.
so it's like something I've always heard. Like, it's very ingrained in my memory, in my brain.
Right.
But I really had to like work on it last semester, like grinding the fingerings and just
Mhm.
really getting it down.
Right.
There's some really fast licks in there. It's really
Right.
hard. So yeah, come to the next Hannaford concert. I'll
Yeah.
be playing.
But going back to your time in high school, like when was the point that you already like knew like I'm going to go to university for music? Was that something you already knew since like the first year in, or it took a bit of thinking?
I think it was definitely a debate in the second year that I had music. So the first time I had music, it was second semester of grade 9.
That was the second. What do you mean?
So when I started music in high school, it was second semester.
Oh, okay.
And then next year, I was seriously considering because I had to pick courses, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, I could take all of the courses that are prerequisite to engineering.
Yeah.
But I had enough time to think about it. Like I had enough space in my calendar to fit both prerequisites for music and prerequisites for engineering.
Mhm.
But then as I got into grade 11 and 12, I'm like, I really have to like make a decisive choice where I'd lean towards music, and I'd always imagine myself doing that, but
Mhm.
never set myself onto it because taking the prerequisite courses out of my calendar was kind of like the final
Right.
decision point where like I couldn't go back.
And at that point, did you already feel like you were in a pretty like comfortable and like committed state with like playing the tuba?
So about that time, I
Essentially.
started lessons with my teacher here, Sal.
Really?
Sal
So like
was-
you started working with him like grade 9?
No, like grade 11.
Oh,
But
grade
like
11.
that's when I had pretty much made the final choice.
I see.
And he was like, yeah, I don't see you not getting in.
All right.
So
Like there's a place for you here.
yeah,
Essentially.
I auditioned here, Western and Laurier.
Right.
And I got
that
into-
was the same ones I did too.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah. I said, where should I audition? And he's like, yeah, Western Laurier. Because I didn't do McGill. Cause, I don't know. Because this was before COVID, so I'm pretty sure I would have had to go there to audition.
Yeah.
I never looked into it, but
Yeah.
just Ontario, so that felt more right.
Mhm.
But yeah, then I auditioned and I got in. And I was, they gave me more scholarships than the other schools, but I liked the UFT more.
Right.
Particularly because of the teacher, but
That was yeah.
and Anita's here. Anita's awesome.
Yeah, she is great.
Yeah,
I really
she's
love her.
so
I
awesome.
want to try to get her on the show too.
Yeah, you should. Oh my god,
that
that'd be so
be
cool.
insane.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the Jeff episode and the Ivy episode.
Oh, Jeff one. I haven't even secured that.
You
But
gotta figure it out.
I like 1,000% secured the Ivy one. Like she.
Yeah.
Like I would post screenshots to like I don't remember how I'd post them, but like she would like she emailed me out of nowhere on like a
Yeah.
Saturday. No, it wasn't Saturday. It was like it was Monday. She emailed me on the TSYO Gmail account.
Did she ask to be on it?
She asked like, hey, can we reschedule? It was actually supposed to be today.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, I have to be at somewhere like right after rehearsal. I was like, yeah, no worries. Like I have to be somewhere too.
Mhm.
And she was like, can we reschedule? I was like, yeah. It was like so funny that I just saw TSYO. And I was like,
That's really funny.
yeah, it was actually crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how you talked about like your trajectory here of like being in common year and stuff. But like have you enjoyed like since first year, since that was like even though that was online, but since first year to now like enjoying being at UFT, like pursuing a bachelor's
Yeah,
in
it's
music?
been great. I mean, I wish there were more tuba players. Because
Yeah.
last year a bunch of them graduated and
Really?
tuba studios shrunk. I mean, it does mean more competition, but it means more people to geek out of a tuba on.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, it's just a fun little.
yeah,
community you
and
had.
obviously first year and second year were kind of hard because of COVID, but I'm always here. I think I spend more time in this building than in my apartment downtown.
That's a lot of people. I'm like, you have the tuba room there, so
Yeah.
like, you're never not.
I'm literally sleeping in there every
lower,
day.
Lower basement, you know.
Yeah.
I was talking about that with Jacob, or no, I think it was with Eleanor. We were just like, we spend so much time in this building, and like I think I get out of the house but in reality, it's like come here
Yeah.
and stay here for like multiple hours and then just leave.
Yeah.
Like I don't really spend much time like out of the house doing stuff.
Yeah,
you
my
know?
Tuesdays are horrible because I have 9 a.m. for tuba class, and until 9 p.m. I'm here because there's a composition form 7 to 9.
Oh shit.
So some days I'm here 12 hours.
Right. So do you feel like that you're like professionally your final goal is kind of like you want to like land a tuba orchestra job and
Yeah,
keep composing?
That's the goal. So I took this business and music course, and I kind of had to like clearly outline what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically wrote, I want to win like a high-profile orchestral job,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the side do freelance composition and teaching lessons and stuff.
Right.
So that's a goal, but obviously that's...
So teaching is something that actually like still means...
Yeah, it's obviously like a side hustle that gets you money, but
yeah,
I enjoy teaching students because I'm so passionate about it.
Right, because I remember you said you considered like, oh, ed is cool.
Yeah, it is always cool, but I don't
Right.
think I could be a high school teacher.
No, yeah. But back then, did you think it was like...
I thought maybe I could, but
Right.
the whole like learning a second teachable
Mhm.
and being as passionate about that, because chances
Yeah.
are, music gets cut, you have to be a full-time English teacher or something.
Right, yeah. And I was in the same boat because like in first year I was actually like in music ed, so like I transferred out. Well, I said that in the Gabby episode, and you probably know that. But I was just like, I'm just realizing now, but like yeah, that was like kind of the same kind of route and realm I was in. But yeah, it's interesting though because like like that's like pretty different to Sam because like he had that composition minor, but like he wants to be foremostly a composer, but you want to like keep playing in orchestras, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you taken any auditions? Yeah,
I've taken a few. I've taken if you're talking about like actual auditions for adult orchestra positions,
adult orchestras.
yeah, I call it like the adult,
right?
The realm. So I started with Quebec City,
Right.
and it's a decent orchestra.
And
their-
that opening, I
yeah,
guess.
their list was like 40 pages long of music. It was horrible, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't know because I hadn't done an audition before that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really grinded, and I obviously didn't advance, but it was for the experience more than anything.
Right.
And then
And how would you describe that?
it was
Exact
pretty good.
experience?
I mean, the first list. Okay, on the day of, my face wasn't feeling it, so obviously it wasn't gonna.
Right.
I would have needed something magical to happen to advance,
Mhm.
and I was okay with that. But the whole experience, it was not much more nerve-wracking than I thought it would be. It was just like we drove so long to go there, and I felt bad that.
Oh.
Were
Were there with her family?
Yeah, well, it's my mom and Mike. Mike, tuba player.
Oh,
He's
right.
at Teachers College, but we both went and we both took the audition.
Nice.
And then I took Kingston. They had a
Okay.
tuba position.
It's not
And
as
it's like
far.
more of a part-time thing.
Okay.
They don't do as often stuff, and it pays less. But I advanced in that one.
Nice.
There was it'd be like 12 people, and they took 4 in the next round.
Right.
It was me, 2 French guys. I swear, Quebec people are so correct at tuba. My theory, okay, if you're bald or French or both, you're really good at tuba.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but tuba players, you'll see the trend. Mark Tetra in the orchestra.
Yeah, I never really pay attention to
Chris
tuba
Olka,
players.
they're all bald.
Interesting.
They're all bald or French, I promise you. Anyways,
Bald
that's
or
my
French.
theory. That's my
Right.
hypothesis.
That's
But yeah,
sick.
so it was me, Tony, who just graduated.
Right. Yeah.
We both advanced, and then 2 French people.
Sick.
Yeah, the scene in McGill and Quebec and in the tuba world is kind of insane.
How would you
Sasha teaches there.
How would you describe the tuba scene like generally?
In the world?
Yeah.
There are some pretty cracked dudes.
Do you feel like there's a lot of like not like space, position, and like availability to like have more tubas somewhere?
Yeah. I mean, okay, there's always like one per orchestra. And then
It's like very like
there
I
are
think
enough
about that.
freelance jobs, like enough pieces need a second tuba player
Mhm.
that you can be that guy.
Mhm.
But it's mostly like teaching, and like Jen Stevens is like the major freelancer in Toronto.
Really?
She's around everywhere. She's like sustainable amount of gigs, but I don't know if everyone in Toronto can be that sustainable.
And not everyone has the same route of just like I want a job. You
Yeah,
know,
so
and,
it's like you get a job and then supplement it with
Right.
with other stuff. So it's like somewhat sustainable because you don't have to play just in orchestra. You can play in brass band or definitely less, like more in the UK is brass band stuff.
right.
So if you were a tubist in EU, you could get by, I think.
Right.
Yeah, the European orchestras are always cracked. But if we're talking about like solo stuff, maybe carving a space for solo tuba is an option for people if
Right.
you're cracked enough.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't see it enough.
Mhm.
It's definitely like one of the one of the disconnects at U of T is like, just as a trumpet player is forced to do a recital at the end of their year, and they play all of the concerti, right? Tuba players have the same thing, but tuba players a lot less frequently are soloists.
Right.
It's like, why am I being forced to put together a recital? Why can't I just do a bunch of mock auditions and
Yeah, because that's kind of more the common
so
route for.
it pushes me into the route of learning solos and being passionate about learning solo tuba rep.
Right.
But then I'm like, I can't make money with this. Like,
No,
it's,
yeah.
it's an entirely different field.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
So if you're talking about like the tuba space in the world, it's definitely kind of split.
Yeah.
Where you can't be a soloist unless you're really good, because no one will hire you. They're like tuba.
Yeah. You gotta like book gigs, and you gotta hope
Yeah, you
people
gotta
want to come to.
You gotta be a sub.
tuba.
You have to be like on people's lists.
Yeah.
And really kind of get those jobs.
Right. That's very actually like enlightening and interesting, because I actually did not know much about like you guys have to do recitals, but
Yeah, it's.
tuba solo.
I mean, obviously, I
is not
appreciate
very-
the
Yeah, of course.
opportunity. It's
Yeah.
great. By the way, April 30th, 2:30 p.m. Come to Geiger. It's my recital.
You heard it. Yeah.
It's gonna be banger. My goal is to have it packed. Elias knows. You're coming, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping this one up.
Beautiful.
But I want to ask you that last question. What are some of your musical goals from now until the end of the year?
I want to be really good. I want to keep
Okay.
practicing, get my recital together, and it's gonna be pretty epic. I mean, I'm auditioning for summer programs.
Sick.
There's Domaine, NYO, all of the lot. It's pretty stressful. I'm doing the Winds Concerto comp,
Nice.
so
Same one that you entered for, like playing the same concerto.
Well, it's actually different.
Oh, wow.
I learned a lot of rep this year. But
Okay.
it's on my recital. Broughton. It's a 10-minute piece. It's really hard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that and just practicing. Hopefully, getting into a summer program or two, grinding it out, and then for the next semester, I'll be ready to be winning jobs.
Right, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me
best
ask
of-
you. Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna flip the script. I had planned this.
Okay.
What are your goals for 2023?
What are my goals? I'm really hoping to like put together my own recital at the end of the year. Like just like in Europe, I want to like, it's like the last chance to play music I want to play, and then like next year my recital is just full of stuff that's gonna go in grad school auditions, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
But so I want to hopefully do that, but also just like, just get better. You know, I'm not the best as I want to be yet, and like that's a lot of people. That's why we're in school. So
Is it more about like learning all the different instruments, or just getting your technique really solid?
getting my technique really solid.
Mhm.
Just to getting like being able to learn harder pieces at a better pace. I'm a bit kind of down on that, but
Yeah.
like generally, those are my goals. Thank you for asking that, man.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I feel like
that's-
not a lot of people ask you the questions. I want
Yeah.
I want it to be more conversational. I'm like telling my life story out here.
That's very sweet.
When are we hearing the guy behind the camera?
Soon. I'm actually planning something like that. It's a little teaser, but I was thinking like, if I get to 50,
Okay.
if not, I'll get to 20, and I'm gonna get Jacob.
What are we on now?
Huh?
Is this like 14?
This one is. So Nikki's was 11. That was the last one I recorded. That's the last one I posted, and then I recorded 2 since then. So this is 14.
I'm so smart.
Yeah. Wow. What the hell?
I'm clever.
Yeah.
I'm like in your hard drive.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
So this is 14. So if 20 comes at a pretty nice time, I'm gonna get Jacob back here,
Okay.
and we're gonna switch chairs, and he's gonna
Nice.
ask me like the same questions. But then if not, if 20 is a bit too soon, then I'm gonna do it at like 50, because I feel like that would be a good pace of like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting so many in. But I'll see what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of this one. Thank you guys for watching.
Come on February 4th, UTSO concert. I'm playing Below.
Yes, and also check him out in the Hannaford concert coming, what is it, 2 weeks from now?
Oh, I don't know when it is exactly. I really should.
Right, but he's playing in that.
When is the Hannaford concert? You don't know? Okay.
But yeah, check him out in the Hannaford Youth Band. Check
Yeah,
him out in
I'm
the
everywhere.
Toronto Symphony Youth Orchestra. This guy is everywhere, and he's
I'm
coming
a
in.
little bit everywhere.
Yes, Umberto, everyone. And thanks for watching. Peace, guys.
Thanks, guys.